Welcome to Let's Talk About It. Today we're going to speak with Shannon Meilnik, and we're going to discuss something that a lot of you will be very interested in. I'm a busy person. I also waste a lot of time. How many of you can say those two things about yourself? Be honest. I am really, over the last few months, been taking an inventory of the things that I actually do. We have guests on this show that are involved in so many different things. And I think, how in the world do they have time to do that? I also sometimes go to bed at night and I lay there and I think, what did I actually accomplish today? And I tend to have great plans for tomorrow the night before. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. I think that each of us can look at our lives, and when we are invited to do something, go have coffee with a friend, or if we think, oh, I'm going to mow the grass today, or whatever it is, and then we think, oh, I'm too busy to do that. Those actually are not words that we should say. In reality, what we need to be honest with ourselves and say is, I am not going to take the time to do that today. When I am honest with myself, it can be very painful, but it can also be a reset, a new start, a fresh take. You know, a lot of people make New Year's resolutions. I have not ever been one to do that, but I like to constantly evaluate my life and see where I am. Now stay with us today, because when we get to the tip later on, I'm going to give you a couple of tips for being able to say, to not say, I'm too busy for that. We're just three women with strong opinions, all from a biblical perspective. Let's talk about it.
This segment is brought to you by Harry's Construction, whose motto is, if you can dream it, we can create it. They are the kitchen and bath design experts, so call Harry's Construction for all your remodeling needs.
When it's time for a new roof, Champion Roofing is your best choice. We're a certified award-winning roofing contractor, meaning your roof is done right the first time. Call today.
Champion Roofing, we're the solution.
Welcome back to Let's Talk About It. And on today's show, we have a question that I think men struggle with, but I'm gonna guess women struggle a lot more with. And that's our identity, what we look like to people, what we wear, makeup, our hair, all these things. Should they be an issue to us as Christian women? And how do we deal with it if it becomes too much of an issue? So Teresa.
Physical appearance.
Yes.
I am a firm believer. If a house needs painted, paint it. That's where I'm at.
That is so good.
I rarely.
I love that.
Do you like that? If a house needs painted, paint it. And so I do. And I enjoy that. And that's just, not everybody has to. Some people don't need it. But believe me, I don't go anywhere without makeup.
Yeah,
on.
me either.
And I like my hair to be done. I mean, my hair's short for a reason because I'm not savvy with hair. But Yeah, that's where I am.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I like doing hair and makeup and
Yeah.
clothes. I enjoy it. It's fun.
Yeah, I like it too.
Yeah.
I mean, shopping for clothes, I could do it every day.
I enjoy watching YouTube videos on, especially as I have gotten older. You change the way you do your makeup to make you look less old. Something that is hard for a lot of people that I did about 6 years ago was quit coloring my hair. And that I was a little unsure about, but I thought, if I don't like it, I'll just color it again,
Yeah.
and I do like it. It's a lot less maintenance,
See, I'm still stuck on the hair thing, and I may always be stuck on the
Right,
hair thing.
right.
I had a high school friend who put like this Facebook post out that she was letting her hair go all gray, which I could hardly fathom because she's so beautiful. She's just, I always think to myself, perfect Debbie,
Oh.
And I started to watch that transition with her, and then I would encourage her because I knew she wanted out of bondage. To her, it was bondage. See, to me, to get my hair done, I like it. But to her, it was bondage, and so I would every once in a while send her a message and say, "Your hair looks great. I wish I wish I could do that. I wish I had it in me to do that."
The fact that she was brave enough to do it over social media over that
Yeah.
period of time, that's a big deal.
And she said, honestly, she goes, people made such a big deal out of it, it almost wrecked her nerves in a way. But she did it, and she looks stunning.
Awesome.
She looks stunning.
I like that word that you used, bondage, because if it's something that is holding us down or keeping us from pursuing maybe things that God has placed on us, then we do have to kind of look at it. I know, I'm a heavier girl, and there are some people that are overweight that don't take a picture of me. I can't be on camera. And I've really worked through that. Like, I'm not going to stop doing what God has placed on my heart because I'm a heavyset girl. I'm going to still be used for his kingdom any way that I can. And sometimes we have to fight through some of those things. Like, I watch this show and I'm like, it doesn't look great, but I'm not going to stop because of that. That has to be something that I work through. But
I do
that
think
bondage
that's
word.
right. That's the perfect word.
But I don't feel like I'm in bondage to anything. What I do because I want to do it.
Yeah.
I have a friend who a number of years ago said she realized during the day how many times she was looking in the mirror, and that was a real checkup for her, because she was checking herself continuously throughout the day. That, I think, you need to be aware of that.
Right.
Yeah, and even on this show, like in the beginning stages of this show, like I was like, oh gosh, this hair and this. Now I do like all these episodes. I don't even go in and check my hair anymore. It is what it is.
I want to look nice.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not going to fret over every little thing.
Yeah.
But I also want to bring this up about taking care of ourselves. We focus on certain areas and consider that taking care of ourselves, and rarely do any of us take care of our entire self. Like, I'm a big one on your skin's your largest organ on your body. And I take care of my skin. Like, I'm very habitual about lotion that's paraben free and things like that. And we get super hyper focused, I'd say, on certain areas and not on other areas. Like, there's a ton of things I could do better. I went to the doctor recently, and they wanted me to have a test done last year. A whole year went by, I refused to do it because it wasn't pleasant, and I didn't want to do it. And I'm very compliant, but I was not compliant about this one, and he questioned me about it. And
I bet I know which one that was.
Like, I'm not doing that. And he's like, you're not even going to be awake. And I'm like, it's the prep. I'm not doing that. I don't want to do that. So they gave me an alternative that I could do at home, and I didn't want to do it either. And it sat there for 30 days. I didn't do it. So it's just kind of funny. And he says to me, he says, Teresa, he says, the actual thing that you're in here for will not be the thing that kills you. You have like less than a 1% chance of that being what kills you. But in women, he went down through the list. Like, I think it was like breast cancer, lung cancer. Third was GI cancer. The third largest killer. And I'm like, He's right. He is very right. But we all have that one thing. Like for some people, it might be like a mammogram, or we all have that one thing. We're like, I am not doing
Can
that.
you have like 10 things? I think I do.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, like,
Things
I mean,
I'm not doing.
I didn't want to get kicked out of the practice for being a non-compliant patient, so I didn't.
I
end
have
up
been
doing
kicked
it,
out of a practice.
Because you don't do what they tell you to do?
Yeah, they called me and they said, if you don't come back and do this because we need to know. And I was like, well then, fine, I'm not coming back. I'm gone. Like, I'm gone from that practice.
I know.
So I'm bad
Yeah.
at that.
So I think in taking care of ourselves, there's the appearance, which we usually do pretty good about, you
Right.
know, but then there's all those other little details.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yes, that I don't take the time for.
Yeah.
I
Right.
don't. I mean, we all have a friend who walks.
Yeah.
And I look at when he walks and it's at night and I'm like, well, I'm doing stuff at night. I can't walk at night. No, I'm not. I don't want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to do it. I don't take care of the things people can't see. I tend to take care of the things that people can see. And what does that say? What does that say about us?
Yeah. For me, you know, it's just getting it here to here, connecting those
Amen.
dots, because that's the hard thing for me, is just getting it from here to there. But if we can do that, and God's so patient with us and working in us, and He knows, He wants us to be healthy.
That's right.
And He wants us to enjoy life to the fullest.
That's right.
And so, men, women, enjoy this life that God has given you to the complete fullness. And sometimes we have to look at a lot of things going on in our bodies, whether it be things that Teresa was talking about or things that we can see. But make sure you're taking an evaluation of where you are so that you can live life to the fullest. When we come back, we will have our guest of the day.
New Life Worship Center's tax ministry is in their 13th year of serving. This is an organization who will do your taxes, and they only ask for a $30 donation to benefit local charities. They will e-file federal and state returns and complete local returns for you to mail in. They can handle everything from basic family returns to rentals and property returns. Contact New Life Worship Center's tax team on Facebook or by calling them today. Impact Productions, a multi-layer technology company providing on-site, online, and in-studio video services. Contact Impact Productions to capture your story.
Welcome back to Let's Talk About It. And on today's show, we have Shannon Meilnik with us. And she's here to talk a little bit about fitness, YBM Wellness. But before we get into that, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Shannon Meilnik, and I'm a mother, a wife, and I have 4 children, aging from 16 to 6 years old. Like for a second, ranging. So, yes.
So busy.
Yes, and do a lot of things.
Yeah.
And one of them obviously would like to share about is YBM Wellness.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about this program.
So back in 2019, my husband and I, we had a huge shift in our financial, our jobs. We were with a health and wellness company, and that basically there was a shift in the company, and we lost all of our income with that, which was our main income for our family. And we
Both
just
of you at the same time?
Yeah, we were both in this company and completely shifted the way that they did this model and took our 6-figure income, and all of a sudden in a day was completely gone.
Okay.
And so my husband was still teaching at BG actually, and we started to pray about it and just, what did the Lord want us to do? And really everything that had been in us for a very long time within health and wellness, because we were actually health and physical education teachers. That's how we met. And the Lord just started to just really bring out some things that was in our heart already and our passion already to bring forth. YBM Fitness is what it started as. And then it kind of just, it was molded and we first started it being like an online fitness program. And then it kind of turned into more of a personalized coaching program where we talk to you more personally. Our pillars that we were built it on, that we really believe that it was all God breathed, it was all him just bringing these things out, was the pillars of faith, family, fitness, and finances. And so knowing that, like, if you have a table, the example we would give is, if one of those, if each of them stood for the legs of a table and one of them was not shored up, like it was really wobbly and falling over, you know, the whole thing's going to collapse. And so really just speaking to people within that, it started more fitness based, kind of grew into more personalized coaching programs, us really connecting with the people. And we really modeled it on that your heart, your mindset, and your actions are all connected. And one of the biggest muscles we really felt that was ignored or kind of covered up was your heart. And so you can walk into fitness places and fitness programs, but if you really don't connect those together, you're really not going to get the breakthrough that you're looking for. And so that's kind of what we started to do. Again, it started because our finances were in a place that was, that was not shored up and that was not in a good place. And, so when we brought it forth, we knew that he was breathing it into life. But I think that, still in our vision, that part of we need finances kind of can get in the way too, if that makes sense. Yeah. And so then even as COVID came and just different things that he was shifting with the whole model, we then decided to do online courses. So we created some courses that you could do self-directed on your own time to really get deeper and understand, like, why are you not connecting? Why are you not having breakthrough? And then how can you get to that other side that maybe you have felt like you've hit a plateau, you're stuck, you keep going back, like you gain a little bit and then you go back. And so, so it really kind of we were very flexible in that and just letting him lead us. We know that anything that is birthed in the flesh, you're going to continue to build it in the flesh. And so it was more of just really like letting him direct us and, guide us through it. And it's really, it's changed a lot since we started it.
So do you now have a brick and mortar?
It's a great question.
Because I'm a little confused, so I'm just wondering, so as a participant, what does that look like for me? Like, am I going into a building? Am I signing up for a membership? Yeah. What am I doing?
Really good question. So when, like I said, going back to the beginning when we started, it was online. Because it was actually a little bit before COVID that this whole thing happened. And then it kept, when that happened, then we kept going with the online piece. We didn't have brick and mortar. But there was a time frame that I was teaching fitness classes at our former gym that was on 801 Pleasant Valley Boulevard. So I did teach fitness classes in person, but most of what we were doing was online and communicating with the people, and on whether it was a Zoom or on the phone and things like that, because that was what was needed at that time, right? And now we have a studio that's in person, but things have definitely shifted a little bit in that before all of this, before we got our in-person studio, it was just a place of, you can have things that the Lord puts in you and your passions and what he wants to bring out of you, but there was a time where we just kind of felt like something's not right. Like, we know that he wants us to do this, but I just didn't feel like it was going in the direction that I felt like it needed to. And so honestly, I laid it down, surrendered it, put it at his feet and said, listen, if you don't want me to do this anymore, I'm just going to lay this down. Again, that was all the online piece. That was more of the online courses, all of that had come forth, and kind of put it down at his feet and said, Lord, whatever. You'll bring it back, you'll resurrect it if you want to. And so fast forward to right now, the studio that we have is actually, my husband and I bought a building downtown Altoona on 11th Avenue. And when we purchased it, again, listening and being patient, what do you want us to do with this? But we really felt a strong call to connect and restart and relaunch the Joshua House. And so the Joshua House is helping youth find purpose. It's 25 years in the making from the founders, Jim and Jessica Kilmartin. And we really felt the Lord say that YBM Fitness Studio, we wanted that to be, call it like an engine, that whatever comes into, whatever is built through that studio is going to be something that's going to help fund youth and the programs that we do through Joshua House. So YBM Fitness Studio is actually, we gave that over as a part of a program for the Joshua House. Whereas YBM Wellness, we still have our programs, we still have our courses, and I think that the Lord's still going to do something with that. But right now, we really feel called to make a big impact in the youth, but also their families, and then just individuals as well. So that studio, we have kind of just felt the Lord just redirecting it, because sometimes you don't have the how. And so, how does He want you to bring it forth? And we really felt like it needed to connect to that.
So what programs do you run fitness-wise out of that building?
That's a great question. So from our studio, we do, we run classes for all ages. We have adult memberships that are, every portion of adult memberships funds for all youth to come for free. So 12 to 18-year-olds memberships are completely free. Wow. And then if you're under 12, as long as you're with a parent or guardian or, an adult, they can come and take place in the classes. We have classes that are strength and conditioning. We have classes that are Refit Revolution, which is a dance fitness class. We have mobility classes to help with just your flexibility and moving your body. And then just different names to the classes with the strength pieces. Some are more like sculpts, the one's called sculpt class. That one is going to be like the teacher's going to be with you and they're directing you. And you're not going to feel like, whoa, this is too hard, I can't do this. We're going to stay with you and we're going to build on having you find out like what's the proper way to do this, how do you do this, and really connecting to the people. And then you have your high intensity classes like Arise, where the people are waking up at 5:30 a.m. like myself. Not on all days, but 5:30 a.m. And we call that, and we really felt that we wanted to have power words to the name. So our classes are called Arise, Burn, Sculpt. So they're one word in there, and it's just, that's what it's identified as, and then there's a description for it. So it's really for all. We've had whole families come and work out. Like the one family has
together.
Yes. One day it filled my heart with joy seeing this one family. That the Islandberger family, I'll give them a shout out because it was so awesome. It was the mom, the dad, and their 5 children all working out together. And the father came from work and he's still in his work clothes and he's doing this intense workout, and all the kids are working out and some other guests as well. And so that's really what we wanted. Mark and I, when we were health and physical education teachers, we recognized that kids would come and you would make these impact with kids, but they're going back at home, right? And so that family unit makes a huge difference. And so we have to impact the person, right? And there's a connection to that heart and your mindset. And so if those things are connected, and then also if you're not strengthening as that family unit, there could be a big disconnect.
Yeah.
So,
well, thank you so much for joining us today. I really want to put this out there for women, men. Connect with this business, YBM Wellness, especially if you're struggling with getting some health things intact. I think this is a great program, and so reach out to them, see what it's all about, and when we come back, we will have our tip for the day.
Hey y'all, it's Dano. Check this out. Hey, we got some exciting news. Dano on the Counter, Season 2 on Fox 8 at 8 a.m. Make sure you check it out.
Earlier in the program, I talked about being a busy person. And I was going to tell you a couple of things. Something I have recently learned that I don't like, okay? I don't like that this is something that now I know, because I have to be responsible for it once I know it. So now you're going to have to be responsible for it once you know it. I have an iPhone, so if you have an Android, you're going to have to figure it out another way, or ask one of your grandkids or your kids, because they'll know how to do it, okay? All right, on your iPhone, this is my main screen. I swipe over to the right, and down at the bottom, there is something it's a white clock, and mine said 13 minutes, okay? Now, when I get to that page, see that graph right there? You may not be able to see it. Do it with your phone. You'll be able to see it with yours, okay? When I scroll up, there is a section called Most Used. It's got messages, it's got phone, it's got clock, it's got settings, mail, camera, Facebook, all of your apps, all of the things that you use. Now, something that I did after I learned about this and started reading, because, let me back up a second. What this graph tells you is how many minutes a day you are spending on each item. I don't like that, because in my mind, I do not waste time on this telephone. I don't waste time at all. I'm a busy person, remember? But I waste time. Now, my Facebook on here, I'm just letting you know, my Facebook on here in one day, I looked at it and it was 3 hours and 37 minutes. I was like, there's no way, that's wrong. That can't be right. The next day, I made sure I did something different and I set a timer on Facebook. It was still over an hour. Pardon me. I actually removed the Facebook app from, I removed the Facebook app from here. Now, to do that on an iPhone, well, I don't want to delete my Bible. You know what? Well, we'll just practice. I'll just show you with that, okay? You press it, and it gets the little minuses on it. Now, all I have to do is hold that and sling it over, and sling it over, and sling it over, and it goes away. Now, well, and trust me, it does go away, because my Facebook app went away. I can still get to Facebook on my phone, but I have to be intentional about it. I should not be spending 3 hours a day on any social media platform. I shouldn't. That's for me. You have to do you. I want you to know that you can check yourself by doing your phone that way. You can also remove things from your phone. Remove things from your life that are not good and pleasing to God. You have to do that for you. I did that for me. And that happened to be the best thing. The next thing that I did, when I get up in the morning, I leave my phone by my bed. And then I go into the other room. I fix my coffee. I read my Bible. I know a lot of you read your Bible on your phone. Yeah, try it different. A couple days a week, not all the time. Make small changes, small baby steps, because small changes over a long period of time equal a huge difference. And we can all be better people. We can manage our time better. We can use our time better for the Lord. So that's my tip. You may not like it. I don't, that's for sure. So join us next time. And in the meantime, while you're waiting on the next time, let's talk about it.